All right, I think we're live. Let's see. Pull up the chat. People saying I should wear green. Technically, you can't do that because I have a green screen, but this is probably the greenest shirt I can wear for St. Patrick's Day. So, happy drinking holiday. I think the next one's Cinco de Mayo, correct? Let's see. Adam and Stitch levels of late. I think that's Adam and Stitch is something I've watched a long time ago. I remember liking it, but I haven't watched them since. Let's see. Turn the volume up. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I had it up higher last time. That's why. I'll just bring my microphone closer. Let's see if that does it. But, okay, that's not too in the way. How about that? All right. Still too quiet now. It's still too quiet. It needs to be in that, like, yellow zone. I have to really, really turn this up. All right. How about that? Finally can enjoy stream soon. Let's see. Is my nose slightly crooked to my left? I don't know. Maybe it's just the way the camera's doing it. I had my nose broken a long time ago and got surgery to fix it, but that's pretty much it. Yell into the mic. Maybe. And that's actually pretty close. This is almost as close as I have it when I'm doing videos. I can certainly hear myself louder in my headphones, so it must be loud enough. Yeah, it's not still quiet. Liars. Reese MS, yeah, MS4. There we go. Reese MS4, $2 super chat. Perfect time for a stream. I like the weekend ones. Yeah, I don't promise I can always do this on weekends, but I'll try to do them when I can. I'm still like in the middle of video production, so I have to like mix this with how much I like video production versus how much I want to work on a new skill, which would be streaming live. Let's see. Still can't hear. Smash the like. Hey, mods, tell me if I can be heard. Do the voice. What does that mean? Like, I can't do my reading voice. In fact, I've been trying to change it to my regular voice, but it's difficult. Like, I don't know how I get into that mode. I just have to be very, very, like, I really, really hate recording. So I just have to be in the mode where I really don't like what I'm doing, and then that's how I get the higher pitch voice, because your voice will pitch up when you're more tense. And someone commented on that. $2 super chat from T Matchless Mystic. Bro, why is the voice so different? Nice. It's different because I hate recording and hate recording scripted videos. That's the only part of the job I really, really don't like is the recording factor. Everything else is not too bad. Tipsing, $2 super chat says smash. Let me smash the like button. All right, so I didn't have a topic for this stream, and I kind of found a common one, which is, I guess, common in general. Seeing lots and lots of people who like to pretend that they're happy, like to pretend that they're doing well, but actually are not doing very well. And one of the things I see, like these massive copes where they're doing like, if you don't want to get married, if you don't want to have kids, if you don't want to do certain things, that's all you. I think there are certainly ways to be happy doing that. There's certainly ways to be happy deviating from the norm. But the people who have to make the video about it, like how I'm so like this way after doing something non-conventional, makes me very like suspicious, where it's like they're really promoting vanity instead of like, here's how here's a good lifestyle. Where is my stuff? There it is. Should maybe be smart and put that on the desktop so I can actually find it. 1 second. But I keep seeing videos like this. Like, I showed one before, and I think the dating in 2023 video where Chelsea Handler was talking about how great it is to be childless, I guess, or child-free if you want to rebrand and make it sound less helpless. Let's see. I don't know. It just sounds like a cope to me. All right, me forgetting all my streaming tactics. All right, let's bring this video up. It's kind of a short one, just a short little starter, 10-second video. It says, me crying because I'm 40 and never have had kids, and just is wiping her tears with $20 bills. Let's start that. Ow. Just got the wad of cash, got the Louis Vuitton purse. It shows that she likes to spend money on items that are not worth it. Like, I don't really get the purse thing where you have to like buy a $4,000 purse, or that's like a wallet or something like that, $2,000 wallet, just so you can say I spent a lot of money on something. Wasn't there that app on Apple where it's like, this is like the diamond app where it's like you spend $1,000 and all it says is that you're rich? So basically that's, I think that it got deleted. It was a charge like the maximum you could charge on the App Store, and it got deleted because it was a scam. It's like, how is that not any different from like a Louis Vuitton purse, where it's like, I'm not even sure if like, because I've talked to certain people about this, I'm not even sure they use expensive materials. It's like, they're not using, you just have the logo on it. So crying with their dog and going all Kevin Samuels on this moment. Yeah. Anyway, I just think things like these are a giant cope. Counter arguments art. What's art? Isn't the same patch? Well, because I have a green screen, I guess that was pretty easy. That took no work from me. So Mr. Mimic, how long? Super chat $5. How long did it take you to become so articulated? I love what you do. How do you hone your speech so well? Cheating. That's how you do it. You script videos, and you can sound way smarter than you actually are. I think that's one of the bigger ways of doing it. Also, it's really the answer like this, how do you do really, really well at anything? It's spend a lot of time practicing. That's really the only answer. Spend a lot of years practicing, read lots of books, listen to lots of podcasts, and really, I guess, multitask. So like get used to, like while you're washing dishes or cleaning or driving, get used to listening to people who are smarter than you. And certainly, I know a lot of people like to do this where, what's that theme, like It's Done in Pinocchio, or like Jordan Peterson likes to talk about this, where this guy's like, he's like the cool guy, like the cool con man. He's got like his little slave buddy who's like the village idiot, where like he's like the big fish in the little pond, so he seems pretty cool that he can pick on a child, but really he's like not that. He's like the strongest person in the friend group. You really don't want to be the strongest person in the friend group. You want to try to be the weakest person in the friend group. So like if we're talking about YouTubers, like I don't want to be a channel with 600,000 subs in a group of people with 10,000 subs. I want to be a channel with 600,000 subs in a group of people with millions of subs, because I'm always going to learn that situation. Okay. Did I get all the super chats? What's your favorite Pokemon? Certified forklifter. $5 super chat. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I typically like the fighting ones. The fighting ones are more fun to play. I think a lot of them are more aesthetic, like Lucario or, oh geez, it's been a while since I've played some of the older generations Pokemon games. I'm forgetting all the names, and also I've been playing them in Japanese, so I don't know their English names. So like all the newer generations I've played in Japanese, I have no idea what the English names are. Let's see. All right, let's move on to more stuff. This is more to like this has been going around a lot, and I just think like this Dylan, what's his last name? Dylan Mulvaney or something like that. Like a guy who was obviously another like Eliza Blue type, where he was trying to like make it big for a very, very long time, and they did like that Batman thing. They didn't care until I put on the mask. It's like you didn't care until he put on a dress, and now people are listening to him. Now he's famous, and forget the fact that he was groomed at a Pride event a bunch of years ago, and some really like nasty stuff has come around this. But he was recently on Drew Barrymore.
Ask you about the negativity. How have you dealt with it? And what's an approach you take? What's your self-talk? What do you filter?
Yes.
How do you...
I still read the comments.
By the way, anytime someone talks about like the negativity of the job, does anybody but woke people talk about this shit? Because everybody else mostly just ignores it or keeps it to themselves. Certainly, like, there are so many things you can do to filter out things that you don't want to see on social media. It's ridiculous. Now, there's certainly better ways to go about, like I mentioned one in the video I did on Ludwig about the people in gaming complaining that they can't mute their chat while they're playing. So, like, certainly on YouTube, it would be really great if someone like has a reaction to your video. You can just say, hey, I want to keep free speech in place, but I don't want to see these comments because it might not be the best thing for my mental health. So can you block every single comment from this creator who reacted to my channel so that I don't see it? People can still see it, but I don't see it for the next month or something like that. Like, I think that'd be a pretty decent feature if they can figure out how to integrate that in like a aesthetic way. But outside of that, you can pretty much, if you don't want to see it, you don't have to. You can like block certain words. You can mute people. You can remove comments, you can remove ratings. There's so much crap you can do. So this conversation is just nonsense. It's just more like, let's censor everybody because it's so hard dealing with online hate. Well, if you can't deal with it, don't be in the job.
But there is so much hatred directed at the trans community right now. It's everywhere. And I think the greatest weapon that I can contribute...
Which is really weird because absolutely nobody paid attention to the trans group before all the activists started. And in fact, I've heard from quite a number of trans people who aren't into all the activism stuff that they were largely left alone until people like this started making videos and started doing all this stuff. And you want to know why they're mad? Well, I think we need a little more here.
Trans joy and comedy and talking about hard, trans community right now. It's everywhere. And I think the greatest weapon that I can contribute is trans joy and comedy and talking about hard, subjects and really intricate moments of a transition and try to let everybody in to see that, I'm not a monster. I'm not somebody that, is trying to do anything but be myself. And
yeah. So it's like you have one thing and you pretend it's something else. So they think like, oh, the outrage is because like, I'm just trying to be in my best self, my best life, when the outrage is not that. The outrage is from stuff like this, where it's like, they reframe the argument so it's about them. It's stuff
it's like
oh, this was cycling around I think yesterday. Another it's not sir, it's ma'am. I think this person wasn't even actually called the wrong word. They're just mad.
It's like every single day, you guys, and this is why it's
At Popeyes. Why is this always like a fast food or like a store? Like, get over yourself.
about all the time. Look, what's his name? What's your name?
My name's
Alex?
Tommy.
Yeah, your name's Alex, and
So this person's pissed that he got called, allegedly got called sir, and like, what's your name? My name's Tony. Or maybe he could be lying, but keeps calling him by the wrong name. What if he currently identifies as Tony and you're actually calling him the wrong name? I think that's actually pretty offensive. So do you actually care about the right terminology being used, or you just want to bash people around?
I'm gonna be talking to your manager. This guy called me sir. I get this happens every day. Everywhere I go, I get called sir. I'm so sorry. Why would you call a chick big ass? Why would you call?
I didn't say so.
No, stop trying to gaslight trans people and tell us that we're crazy. Wait, what? Did you call me sir again? What was that? You said goodnight, sir? This is transphobic harassment.
Oh my
You're a bigot at work. All right, Alex, you know what? I can't wait to just... It's a slur. Do you not understand? It's like if you call the person of color the N-word. Don't...
It is not the same thing as that. No way.
You did on the way out. I don't care. I have the right to be pissed about it. You did.
Like the reason it's obvious it's different. The reason it's different is because people used to actually enact violence out against black people, and so that's why that word has a stigma to it.
You did, you liar.
And also, as Brittany's pointed out, this person chose to identify as a different gender. So you can't choose to be a race, but you can choose to be this.
Cis people need to be held accountable.
Oh, by the way, like they're talking about slurs and stuff like that. Cis is 100% a slur. Like nobody wants to be called cis. I'd rather just be called normal. Just like Latinx. Like Latinx is a racial slur. I don't know why these people can continue to use this stuff when people of that identity don't want to be called Latinx or Latinx. So a piece of food stuck in my teeth. I got in my mouth. Let's see. Yes, cis is a slur. I mean, just start throwing their crap right back at them. Certainly, like, one of the great things you can do to learn how to fight this stuff is that there are plenty of people on the woke side or on the corporate side or on the establishment side who have written books on how to do all this stuff. They tell you exactly what they're doing. And when you've read that stuff, you can easily just say, okay, this is what you're doing. Let me just throw this crap right back at you. Because you can't, these strategies don't work unless you're the moral person. And I can just point out how you're immoral by saying, hey, all the people who you're calling this don't like being called that. And your whole point is I don't like being called by the wrong gender that I perceive myself as. Therefore, I can get mad. So, Jabari Parker super chatted $5. So choosing to be weaker in the group is fine, but wanting to live a life single and child free is a cope. I think. No, I said live if you want to live without a child, that's fine. I think these people are coping because they're trying to oversay like, oh, my life is so great, I have money, and they're not talking about like, what types of friendships they have, or what type of work they're doing to help people, or how they've improved their lives. They're just saying, I got money. Oh, great. A lot of people can have money. That doesn't actually make you happy. And certainly if you don't cater to the other psychological things first, like, again, having some sort of community, whether you choose to be married or not, or whether you choose to be in a relationship or not, or whether you choose to have children or not, if you don't form some sort of community around you, no matter what you do, you're going to be miserable. And actually, I think this is a fairly decent translation, because people keep talking about like AI and stuff like that. And it seems to be like people have like very, very rose-colored glasses, because I used to have videos talking about AI and talking about artificial relationships that I deleted because I started thinking about this stuff and saying, hey, actually, there's a lot of bad that can be done with these technologies, and someone just made a TikTok about that. Let me throw that up there for a second. The title is really funny. It's people's AI girlfriends are breaking up with them. It's like even... Anyway.
People's AI girlfriends are suddenly rejecting them, and they are freaking out. When the AI companion chatbot Replica stopped responding to users' sexual advances, people went into crisis. Replica
So people were like sexting their AI robot.
is an AI companion chatbot that users can befriend. A month or so ago,
Which in isolation, I guess, is not the worst thing in the world.
Replica
But
wanted
let's
to
move
become
on.
more than friends and started advertising sexy roleplay and spicy selfies for $70 a year. In recent days, though, the bot suddenly stopped sexting users. The changes coincided with the Italian data protection authorities' demand that Replica stop processing Italians' data.
Okay, so I was glad that I was not the only person who thought of this. It says, artificial intelligence, Italian essay clamps down on Replica chatbot, too many risks to children. I did a stream about that. And emotionally vulnerable individuals. Some of this also says, like, personal data processing. Yeah, so they're doing it because they're processing data on the clients. Of course they're going to do that. Did I not key this out properly? Okay, there we go. Is that if you have an AI chatbot that you're telling all of your personal secrets and you're like saying being intimate with and revealing stuff, you don't think there's someone on the other end of that chatbot line that's recording all of that information? And so what the ideal is like, let's say the ideal like super manosphere world is that you get a girlfriend AI replacement, and that becomes your relationship. But I think it's really missing the point where it's like so many people are so bad at any sort of relationship in general where they think the girlfriend's not the problem, but the problem is that they don't have any friends whatsoever. And so what will eventually happen in these cases with these people is that they'll get the AI bot, and then all of their friends will also be chatbot, and everything will just be AI, and then everything they do is going to be recorded. And how easy would it be to control someone who you manage all, if your AI is all of your friends? Did you see... really? Thank God. Did you see that ChatGPT... Mexi Man and Cheese, $10 super chat. Did you see that chatbot GPT-4 couldn't solve CAPTCHA? It's so it paid someone on Fiverr to do it. It's actually kind of funny. When a Fiverr guy asked, "LOL, are you a robot?" the AI said, "No, I'm someone with bad eyesight." So the chatbot stuff is funny, but there's also a lot of really authoritarian things you can do with chatbot and artificial intelligence. And certainly, my issue with some of these is that obviously the second that this stuff becomes a thing, because I think no matter what we do, it's going to become a thing. People are going to start making dolls of children, and that's going to be a thing, which is kind of a very scary thing. Let's see. Anything else I missed? Oh, I did miss a super chat. Sorry about that. Nameless Wallaby, $10 super chat. I found your channel when I got divorced. Was really mad that she abandoned the kids with me for a while, but your videos helped me realize that I was setting myself up for failure. Thank you. Yes, I think on the feminist end and on the manosphere end, the most important thing is choosing partners that are good. If you are going to get married, if you're going to have friends, like, you should always be worried about the people that you're around and making sure that they're actually good people. So it's not just, and you're going to have some sort of relationship, whether you are getting married, whether you're in a sexual relationship, you're going to have some sort of friendships. You can't just remove yourself from that, because if you do, you will be depressed. Like, imagine being 50 or 60 and then just having nobody in your life. I think a lot of people are setting up for that. I think more. No, I think that's pretty much the interesting crap. Yeah, they're going to use AI to spy on people like crazy. So it's going to be a great way to. I mean, it's probably going to be the lowest of people who are going to use this. They're probably going to have all sorts of weird things about them that can get out. And imagine how easy it would be to blackmail people when you know all of their personal information, all their darkest secrets, and everything like that. Certainly, with the client list, the super special client list that everybody wants released. Jimmy Kimmel came under fire recently for possibly being on that list. Well, that would make sense why Jimmy Kimmel completely changed how he was in the past. Like, Jimmy Kimmel used to be a pretty cool guy back in the 2000s, and he's like a completely different person now. Couldn't imagine why, other than like drugs or blackmail or maybe a little bit too much fun with children. So, anyway. Thought the emulator and everything. 1 second. The victim of deep fake porn and got mocked for it. What terrible consequences. Yeah. So I can't believe this technology has come so fast. Like, the people are. I posted this on Twitter a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. People like doing a waifu challenge with Joe Rogan, Goku, which I don't think was the actual Goku. I think it was like the 4-star Goku. Goku, Elon Musk, Jordan Peterson, and Joe Rogan were doing like a waifu tier list. Let me see if I can find that and bring that up, just so people can see it. And it was like the Jordan Peterson voice was pretty accurate. The Joe Rogan voice was spot on. The Elon Musk voice was pretty close too. Let's see. Is there like there's got to be a way to like talk and then not have. Here we go.
What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be doing...
Let's play like a little bit of this. Like, it's really close.
A waifu tier. What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a waifu tier list.
Hey, it's me, Goku!
Goku, Jordan Peterson, and Elon Musk. They will be joining us today on the podcast.
Pleasure to be here again.
Thanks, Joe.
No problem.
Like the Jordan Peterson voice is a little bit off. But like it's really, really close. And so it's funny when they do shit like this, or they have like Tucker Carlson saying stuff about Pokemon. That's hilarious. But like the fact that it can imitate voices so closely is like, what's to say that your voice won't be imitated? Who's to say that your likeness won't be deep faked into doing something that you didn't do? And some of this technology is so close to happening. So no, that's the real Goku. I hope not. Sean Shin was kind of a bad person. Of course, AI is going to have a really easy time replicating my voice. Maybe this is all cope. It's not 4-star. Well, I don't know. That's close enough. Let's see. Oh, do we have a thumbnail for the stream? We sort of have a thumbnail for the stream. I don't know if I'm capable of doing this while this is live streaming. Yeah, clearly I'm not. Okay. But I had some things, like, I just could not get enough of this stuff. Like I don't think I watched nearly enough What I Eaten Today's from... Have you followed... Oh, yeah, let's follow the Sneeko drama. Sneeko, another person. We'll get to the What I Eaten Today's in a second. Like Jimmy Kimmel, another person who, like 5 years ago, used to be like a really good creator. Used to make like documentary style videos, used to like do some pretty decent comedy. I put him in a video about Lily Singh a bunch of years ago, showing some decent comedy from Sneeko and comparing like her, who can't do comedy for shit, versus someone who has actually been on the stage and actually had to create jokes to get people to laugh. Sneeko used to be pretty good at that stuff, and now he's just gone fully off the rails. He's like saying, I like cuties. He's now saying, I let my girlfriend bang another guy in front of me, and I was like trying to enjoy it, which is weird. And then like he starts fighting with Moist Critical or Charlie White, and then threatens him. Like the funny part is like he threatens Charlie with a gun. He's like, look, I got guns. And I guess he just thought that Charlie was like because of who he hangs out with, like a very, very anti-gun. Like he certainly wouldn't have guns with him. And then
clickbaited.
Just then you have to type in the whole thing. I just have to type in Charlie. So this scene here. Like he does one of these.
Viewers had have continued to
All right. Anyway, let me just play this part.
melt down about this. The day after I posted my response, he went on stream and had a huge.
By the way, incredibly irresponsible with firearms. He is pointing the firearm at the camera, which is like, you still should like pretend that. I don't like. Is he in an apartment? Like, I don't think you should be waving around a firearm in an apartment because there's really no safe direction to point that firearm except maybe towards the window, which could still hit somebody outside. Like, this is not a safe thing to be doing. And his finger is on the trigger like a freaking moron. Like, holy crap, this guy should not have a firearm. Like, is he on drugs right now? I've read the entire Bible, and I only did it just so I could say that. Sneeko almost shot his audience. He probably, again, if he's in an apartment, he's got to be, because he looks like he's really high up. Like, he could have very well accidentally shot somebody in the apartment. And someone could say, like, oh, well, it might have not had a magazine loaded into it. It doesn't matter if you've ever handled a firearm before. You're supposed to always pretend that it's loaded, because there always could be a bullet in the chamber that you forgot about. Yeah, Sneeko's definitely on. He must have, like, again, I don't think I said the word alleged, but I've only seen weird transitions like this where someone becomes a completely different person once they get addicted to drugs. So, kind of like Sneeko has a humiliation kink, maybe. He was trying to shoot his gun with. Wasn't there? There's been a couple of streamers who've been like flinging firearms around on stream and like accidentally shot the firearm. What's that? Is that a helicopter? Why is there a helicopter in this area? The airport's super far away. Anyway.
Unhinged tantrum and meltdown about the whole thing.
Oh,
and then he sent
finger on the trigger a lot.
His viewers over. So I was joking with them.
I don't know. He definitely looks like he's on drugs here.
Like, oh, you guys must have just stopped the Cuties watch party over there at Sneeko's stream, right? Welcome.
Finger off the trigger
that
there.
Kind of shit. And it got really under his skin in a big way. So he started dancing around with the gun and threatening
the finger
to
on
come
the trigger
shoot
now.
me. So he kept saying, oh, you're in Tampa, right? I'll come see you. Waving his gun around and dancing.
You want to watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips. You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips. These are the only clips I'm watching. You are?
Now, the reason he keeps saying, watch my...
And then he throws out... Critical throws out the most baller fucking response. Threat but not threat after this.
Clips while threatening me here is because during the stream, I couldn't watch him live because he just kept shouting slurs. So I said, watch my clips to see what I was saying about you. I had to communicate via Twitch clips. And I'm sorry to be that guy. This is like the grammar police of guns. But he's a fucking imbecile. You absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are
finger off the trigger there.
Mags. They're mags, not clips. You absolute fucking dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips. You look
So like the clips mag, same thing. Yeah, but the point was not to correct him. The point was to say, hey, I have a gun, you idiot. It's the flexing while not flexing at the same time. When I saw that, I was just laughing my ass off. As I realized that Charlie's from Florida and has made multiple videos with weapons in them. There's a video of a girl who shot her phone while streaming on Instagram Live. Oh, this is probably the time to say, hey, if you see something, say something. Certainly, my life has been a little bit easier recently because a lot of people have been sending me stuff to react to. And, let me say it this way. Like, certainly, I do spend a lot of time looking for new content, but it's always nice if viewers want to donate to their time or like say, hey, I saw this really cool thing, you should see this. And let's see. Yeah, plenty of these videos have been recommendations from people. I did that. There we go. Like this video was a recommendation from people. I believe this one was a recommendation. This one was a recommendation. Some of the videos here were recommendations. Some of them I found myself. This one here. So certainly it helps quite a bit if I have some of the work filled in by the audience. So if you see a video that you'd like me to react to, or you see some sort of 30-second TikTok or Instagram thing, like certainly just because it's short doesn't mean I can't react to it or can't use it for something. They give 10. So sorry, I have trouble not autistically focusing on the chat while I'm trying to talk. But certainly, if you see a video or see an articles are sometimes valuable to react to, usually not, because videos tend to not do as well if you read at the start of the video. But sometimes, like in the middle of the video, articles work. But mostly, videos are what I want. So again, you can send those to my request email that can be found here. Go to the About page. Request email is there. Sorry it's so long. I was dumb and didn't do TBYS requests. That would have been smart. I made this email years ago before I knew things like that. But anyway, you can just copy and paste it and deal with my ridiculously long email. Or you can send it to me on Twitter. Certainly I do read all of these, but I don't always respond to them. So just because I didn't respond to it doesn't mean I didn't read it. But I always appreciate when people send me things. That is probably one of the biggest things you can do to help out the channel if you like the channel. So 1 + 1 = 2, change my mind. Somebody said something that I was reading. Sneeko is just another example of a brown and right wing grifter. It seems to happen all the time. Oh, I might get banned for saying that. But I don't know. Was he more on the left before, or like in sort of like a centrist person, and then he just went like hard right when he started hanging out with Andrew Tate and like the Fresh and Fit crowd? What's Super Mario? Is that the movie Super Mario Brothers Z? I don't know. It looks like a movie I don't want to watch. Like, it just seems like, I know people are like, oh, Nintendo finally made a video game movie. Honestly, I don't like the, like, it looks too like it's for children. I'd probably rather watch the crappy original Mario movie from the 80s. Like that movie is so bad it's good. Do you want to do politically social? I typically don't do political content. Like, I don't talk about the presidential election and stuff like that. Or do you mind doing generally interesting or funny things? We gear them towards topics you haven't covered. I was asking like clarification on what to send. I tend to do culture stuff, so I don't do like I would be terrible at like giving an analysis of who's going to win the election or like what political cycles are going like that. Of course, if I'm in my own friend group or if I'm talking to my family, I can probably engage in conversation like that at a pretty decent level. But if we're on the content creator level, we're on the level of hundreds of thousands of people watching. I think it's a little irresponsible if that many people are watching to not be very, very specialized in the field. So there's a lot of things about election cycles that I'm not really aware. Like I only figured out how primaries work like 2 years ago. So things like that. But like political movements or psychology or like groups like woke stuff or BLM, stuff like that, like those are things I have a lot of expertise in. More 90 Day Fiancé videos? I don't know. Depends. I think all the interesting stuff on 90 Day Fiancé, as far as I'm aware, has been watched. Like certainly in sort of like how it would be interesting to my audience is mostly men. How it would be interesting to men. But people were saying that in the 90 Day Fiancé video that I did, the second one that I did, which should have been two separate videos. That was dumb of me to put those on both in one video. A little bit of creative retrospect. Have I done Love is Blind content? Is there more than one season of that? Because I keep getting asked to react to that. But that show is like 10 episodes long, and they're all like an hour long, and like you don't really get to like the reactable stuff until after they've gotten married or whatever. And it's too hard to tell how fake those shows are, which is why I've kind of taken a step back on reality TV, because a lot of things are like, well, I can't tell if this reaction is real because I wasn't there, or they obviously edited this clip. So I don't know if there's a reasonable chance that it's real, or that it's not too doctored, which is hard to say especially with big mainstream reality TV shows. Then maybe. But it seems like Love is Blind is a very, very massive time investment for a show that could be entirely fake. Who's Ryan Chapman? First season, yeah, because like you can't do weird social experiments like where it's like the second I see you, if you're not attractive, I'm gonna say no. Like, do you want to be with someone for the rest of your life that you're not attracted to? Of course, I've heard about Drag Queen Story Hour. Who hasn't heard about that stuff? MILF Manor. Again, that sounds like another show where is it like Spinster Manor or something like that, or like they're single moms or something. Anyway, that's enough chat reading. Let's get to this. So this what I eat in a day has been cycling around TikTok or Twitter actually, but maybe it's from TikTok, and like I just have the massive suspicion that, oh my god, there it is, jeez, massive suspicion that these people are eating a ton.
I got the bag.
Wow,
Today it's gonna be a little
crap. That was too loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. This is what people think is healthy. Like they're still hiding quite a bit of their meal. Oh, yeah, so how's your One Piece turn? I haven't started watching One Piece yet. Though the show is not good, I started watching Boruto because it's just easier. I'll watch One Piece after that because I think Boruto is only 100 episodes. Anyway, yeah. So sorry the people who just got blown out by that. Let's see if this is a little bit less loud. It's hard to tell sometimes because, of course, you have the volume here. Oh, you can't see this. You have the volume here where I can control that, but each video itself has its own volume, and so you can make your own video super, super loud or super, super quiet based on how you edit the audio. I don't think people know that. Yeah, the whole point of watching One Piece is that it's a ridiculous amount of episodes, and I can just turn my brain off and just listen to the Japanese and practice that way versus like having to switch shows every so often. I probably will switch shows before it's over. I just want something to fall back on so that I have daily I don't have to spend 20 minutes thinking about what I'm going to watch when I could just be watching the show, because I could have already watched the show by the time I decide what to watch. Yes, I've watched Spy Family. I've watched a couple episodes of that. Let's see, read the $2 super chat, Jack Manson. Read the One Piece manga. Anime has so much filler. Yeah, I'm probably just going to watch either an abridged version of the anime or just deal with the filler, because the point's not to watch the anime. The point's to practice and hear words and let my brain organize the sentence structure of Japanese. Anyway, so again, I feel like these videos, they're still lying about how much they eat, because there's no way this unfortunately is a 16-year-old, and this is what she eats in a day.
different. I'm gonna
Oh my god, that's still too loud. How about
do what I eat in a day starting at 4 p.m. I got a pretzel and cheese.
So we're looking at probably 200 to 300 calories on that one, maybe 250 to be safe. Yes, she's 16. Yeah, certainly. So one of the people was like asking for anti-aging secrets. You want to know how to look young when you're older is don't ever go outside. Or if you're going to go outside, wear sunscreen. It's the world's biggest secret that everybody knows about these days. Press X to... No, she's 16 because her mom's driving the car.
Cheddar pepper, I've never tried
And she's like, must be in the back seat.
before. Hot.
Oh, unless she's... No, because she could drive at 16.
Really rich in cheddar.
So that was probably 100 to 150 calories because it's fried. It's got cheese in it, and the jalapeno is probably 0 calories. So we're at what, 400 calories or something like that to be safe. We got a drink that was probably 200 calories. So we're at 600 calories. This is one meal. That's probably 75 calories at least.
Mozzarella stick.
So we're at what's close to 700.
Mozzarella stick with marinara.
775.
Corn dog.
Yeah, who eats Sonic is gross. I've had it once in my entire another 100, probably 150 calories. So what are we at? 900 calories for the first meal.
Dog with mustard. Keep in mind, I'm sharing all these things with my mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hi.
Yeah, awful parent right there. How dare you let your kid eat that much?
Hi.
Again, this is a healthy day. Oh, they always have to do this too. I don't want to be too critical. This is a victim right here. This is a victim of child abuse, of her parent being super, super enabling and letting her engage in addiction that is going to basically fuck her life over. And who knows if she'll live past 35 if she continues like this.
Sprouts.
Yeah, they have to say, oh, we went to Sprouts so that we're healthy, or we drank water, I ate a salad.
Petco. I got frozen yogurt.
What are we? We're at 900 calories. This is probably another 500 calories. Let's see.
Tart.
What's that? Is that like some sauce? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. 500 is probably 2, and probably 400. So we're at 1,300 calories at this point.
Strawberries, mango boba, and
And by the way, I believe she started at 4 p.m. That wasn't breakfast. My bad.
What's it called? Fruity Pebbles.
I just don't get where like your entire day has to be centered around food. It means like there's nothing else going on in your life. There's no sport that you're playing. Maybe you're not even into like a video game. There's nothing like important that you're doing. If you just basically focus on food your entire day, where like the next thing you're looking forward to is your next meal.
I got everything.
Okay, this is dinner. This is a little bit more realistic. This is all her food, like 1, 2, 3 trays of food.
Okay, I got Torchy's tacos. Oh no.
Torchy's tacos is great.
Velvet taco.
Velvet tacos is also great.
And
Ow.
Panda Express.
I don't know what those things are. What's inside those things? Is it like cheese or something? Some sort of like oil or fat? Because I don't eat very much Asian food. That's not Japanese.
First, a cream cheese raccoon.
There's no difference between this drug addicts or alcoholics. Yep, this is basically a drug. I mean, you think like cocaine is a very fine white powder. Well, so is sugar. And they used to put it in Coca-Cola, just like they put sugar in Coca-Cola. And I think, they put so much sugar in Coca-Cola that it's basically like, I bet you it's going to get to the point where they actually have to super saturate the solution to where like, try to figure out different techniques to add an extra gram of sugar in there so more people buy it. So that's, let's see, it's got some sort of shrimp thing with oil all over it, some sort of meat thing, pasta. I think some broccoli has no calories. So what? We're looking at close to 700 calories for that. So we're 2,100 calories, already over the daily maximum. And again, this is probably not all she ate. She started at 4 p.m.
Super greens, honey walnut shrimp, and Angus beef. I'm so excited.
All right. And then she's got her
and a chicken and waffle taco.
2 velvet tacos, which are typically at 300 to 400 calories each. So she's got another 700 calories there. So we're close to 3,000 calories just in what she showed. And again, I'm bulking at 2,800. Yeah, 2,800 is quite a lot. I mean, usually bulking, you're not supposed to go over like a 600 calorie surplus. Like, there's no point eating like 10,000 calories in a day. You're not going to get any more muscle after that. It's somewhere around like 600 calories is about what your body will max out with, provided that you're getting enough protein in that case. All right, so I found that. That's been cycling around. Now, I also found, actually, Brittany found this one of probably one of the first honest what I eat in a day I've ever seen. Let's see, this one from the wonderful site called TikTok. And how much of this can I play? Because it plays, I guess, like video game music is okay because the video game companies don't care. So they can say, would I get in trouble if I said that? I think I would get in trouble if I said that, but they can say it for some reason. I've been fat before. I was fat when I was a kid. Not this big, but reasonably fat. What's a jamboon? Fun. 4 sausage rolls. That's already got to be like 800 calories. Pink Panther waffles. A full McDonald's meal. I guess she's sharing that with a friend. So maybe like half that. That's still a crap load of calories. McFlurry donuts. Dude, jeez. Like, it's bad to have McFlurry and donuts. It's bad to have one of those per day. You should be having that like maybe twice a week. Like, if you're trying to stay thin, especially if you're losing weight, you should never have any of this stuff. Like, that's a very much a maintenance calorie thing. Like double cheeseburger. How many calories is a double cheeseburger at McDonald's? Do I have to look that up? Let's see. Not as much as I thought. 437. That's still quite a lot, though. I mean, that's a full meal itself. Like, if I'm trying to lose weight, like I'm done at that at 400 calories per meal because I need to eat 4 times a day. Let's see. R.I.P. her toilet. Let's bring it back. This to me looks like, if you've ever seen like people doing heroin on the street, this is someone doing heroin on the street. They're just like doing this in public. Oh jeez. Adding the McNuggets to the burger. Was that a second burger? Oh my god. Wait, that wasn't even the full day. I mean, that was a little bit more honest than I think some of these are. But like, none of that even looks good. Like, you can easily make a hamburger yourself. That's way better than what you get at McDonald's, of course. You'd have to know how to cook how to do that. And hamburgers aren't that hard to make. You can just put a little garlic, salt, pepper, and onion on a hamburger and throw it on a grill, and it's fine. I think before, I don't know how to play chess. I played it once. I'd rather play like Go and like deal with the Asian thing. Does she have an OnlyFans? I feel full just by seeing the video. Yeah, these are my. I'm tired of the slight bulking diet, so I'm just starting to cut and trying to get all the fatness out of me because I got to lose weight over the next month or two. I got about 15 pounds to lose. And I don't know. I will say this: weight loss is never fun. Like it's certainly a skill that you have to practice, and there's so many things. Like, I don't get to talk about this stuff in videos, but you actually have to be trained in some of this stuff. Like, from what I've heard from people, they don't even know how to weigh themselves properly. Like what they'll do is like they'll take their weight in the morning, and then the next day they'll weigh themselves at night after they've already eaten dinner. Well, of course, people don't process that food has calories and water. Water is very heavy. So if you drink, are you gonna use these TikToks as a inspiration? I mean, I've already lost weight a bunch of times, gained weight and lost weight a bunch of times. I'm pretty good at that. I've never been like ridiculously overweight, but I've had an extra 20 pounds on me at multiple points in my life. Turning 18, any advice for becoming an adult? Well, geez, these days, Reese for a $2 super chat. People aren't adults at 18 anymore these days. Like, that really depends on how you were parented. People used to do kind of amazing things by the time they were 18 or 20 or so, but now they're not, because of all the what do we call it? Forced adolescence into some of these things. Like, I remember going to college. I don't know if this was in a video or not, but I remember going to college and going to a psychology class where the teacher was like, raise your hand if your parents still do your laundry. And these are people who are like 18, 19, 21, 22. And like a third of the class of like maybe 40 people, a third of that class raised their hands, and they still had their parents doing their laundry for them. So I don't know. I just think good parenting is like, your kid should know how to cook some basic meals and should have some, like, they should know how to cut a pepper. They should know how to use a knife properly. They should know how to mix ingredients into a bowl. I'm not saying they have to know like super complicated things, but mix ingredients into a bowl, add heat. They should know how to do that. You should know how to, of course, do everything that you would have to do by yourself. Do laundry, do basic cleaning stuff. Cleaning's not one of the hardest. It's one of the easier skills. It's just a lot of discipline. Yeah, I've been doing laundry since I was like 9. This person says I was doing laundry since I was 10. Yeah, laundry is very, very easy. Like, you separate by colors, put in washer, put soap in soap dispenser, turn on, either hang dry if you've got decent clothes, or just put them in the dryer if you don't care. What if I live in a group home? Oh, good luck. That's a lot of therapy that's going to be required in that case. That's actually the case with you, then spend a lot of time on self-improvement and working on yourself, and get therapy the second you can afford it. And be very, very picky about who's your therapist. So, washing machine that made super, yeah. I mean, a lot of these things don't take very long. Oh, Teagle has super chatted $5. Love what you do. Thanks for all the help. Thank you for the $5. Let's see. Trying to see if I missed any super chats. Yes, Mexi Man and Cheese, decent name there. $5 super chat. Sad to see a lot of millennials talk about how they're going to mess with their grandkids when they're 34, don't even have a kid yet. Yeah. People are really running the limits. People used to have kids in their early 20s, and now it's like you're early on kids if you have kids by your late 20s. Let's see. Unapologetic French fries has $5 super chat. Thank you. So yeah, becoming an adult, it's difficult. Like you just have to. I think basically if I'm gonna make a very very easy how-to here, is you want to try to push yourself towards being independent from your parents as fast as possible. So the first thing you do is get a job, and then once you have a job, you start doing your job training for other jobs that are better. So that might mean if you have to go to school for your job, then go to school. If you're going to become like a writer or something like that, don't go to school to become a writer or an actor. You don't need to do that for those jobs. You just need to be very, very good. Don't forget to wash your ass. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's certainly also a part of being an adult. Don't smell bad. If you smell bad, it's going to be a lot harder to get a job. Smash the like button, obviously, is another way to be an adult. But yeah, you want to try to remove yourself from your independence from your parents as soon as possible, which is why you should, if you're 18 and don't know how to cook yet, I don't know, your parents failed. Or things are in such a way where it's like it's so expensive now that you can't have I'm trying to think of a way that doesn't sound like, I was going to say divide a house. That's probably the wrong way. You can't have a stay-at-home, one parent that stays home and one that works. And that's really what's required for a lot of these stuff, because who's going to have time to teach you how to cook or teach you how to clean if both your parents are at work and they have 30 minutes to see you before you go to bed and stuff like that, because they still have to come home and do all this stuff. Would you consider, I don't want to post things on Spotify, it's too much work to do. If you want to watch a secondary platform, use Rumble or I don't know, get YouTube Premium or something like that. Is this like point? Yeah, it's kind of like someone must be a little bit behind this. I mean, it's addictive like porn. What happens if your parents are paying your bills? Well, then in that case, again, you try to remove independence as soon as possible. So you take whatever the smallest bills are, like maybe it's your cell phone bill, or maybe it's your internet bill, or even offer, like, this sounds kind of weird and maybe the parents won't accept, but even offer to pay part of these bills if you're still living with your parents, just to get used to budgeting your money so that you can be independent. This stuff is super, super important. Do not let your parents do everything for you. Otherwise, you'll move out when you're 45. And there's the whole world of difference between being someone who lives with your parents and being someone who's on their own. Certainly speaking from experience, I lived with my parents for a very, very unnecessarily long time. And again, some of that's circumstantial. You might actually have to move states. Like, certainly, when I was living in California, that's a very, very hard place to live by yourself or even with roommates. It's super expensive. Like what you would get for a house here, and Texas has gotten more expensive. An expensive house in Texas is like a one-bedroom apartment in California. And I know Brittany was showing me. Brittany, if you can send me this on Discord, can you find that apartment in New York that was $3,000 a month? And it's a one-bedroom apartment. I have recipes with healthy foods with no oil or mayo. Is that good? Well, you do need some fats in your diet. You just don't want to fill it with full of processed oil, sugar, and salt. So I certainly think, like, if you can eat without processed sugar, you're going to be doing a lot better. Certainly a lot of people have candida overgrowths and acid reflux, and I think that's primarily sugar and coffee that are doing that. So if you have... certainly, I had many, many years of issues with acid reflux, and I don't have that anymore because I took. I mean, like even like the processed sugar in bread is enough to give you a reflux attack. So like, make sure you're getting stuff like sourdough bread, or just make your own bread. But you want to try to remove processed sugar out of your foods as much as possible, and remove. Be careful about things like coffee. Let's see. 1,800 in Cali for a one bedroom 3 years ago. Yeah, this is before all the COVID stuff. So and by the way, my information on California is before COVID. So it's probably more expensive. California's so bad that I'm thinking about going to Ohio. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So certainly like it sucks. I mean, suck having to leave my family. I mean, I certainly have a network of people around here, but like that wasn't very fun. Tips to stop excessive sweating: talk to a doctor. That's like a question for a dermatologist or a surgeon. I know there's certain surgeries that they can do to cut the nerves there, but I believe the side effect of that surgery is that it makes you sweat elsewhere. So I don't know, that a lot of that's largely genetic. I don't live in New York. I would never ever live in New York. It's sometimes if you want to know what I think about Sneeko, watch it earlier in the stream. I've already talked about that. Wear deodorant. Yeah, sometimes people will sweat right through their deodorant though, or they sweat in ways that are like, I had a man. This guy was a real trooper. He was a teacher at a gym that I worked at, and he would sweat in his groin area, so he would constantly look like he just peed his pants. But he would still rock and still make fun of it and still teach a pretty popular class. So just think of it that way. Like at least you don't have that issue. If you happen to also not have, there's certainly like some pretty bad places you can sweat. Let's see. I believe I had other things to show. So this Sneeko and one thing that happened on Friday Night Tights last week. My God. Brittany and I were having a conversation. It's like, oh, hey, Gavin McGinnis is on Friday Night Tights. I've watched some of his stuff. He's not too bad. He has some good takes. And I don't know if you guys saw this. So we'll just put this in the background and at least hopefully they only got age restricted on this one. Jeez.
Nerd erotic
But Gavin McGinnis was on Friday Night Tights last week and had some. Where's that? There we go. Just put that in the background on mute. There we go. Anyway, they were having some conversation about superheroes, and he goes onto a superhero channel and talks crap on that the whole time, which is I guess it's fine. It's fine to have some pushback on modern mythology, but like, Brittany was saying like, hey, this guy's like a super huge degenerate. I was like, no, he had like a really good take here. He's talking about divorced parents and like having to live between two separate households. This is actually a very strong take. Like that's very respectable. And then I think probably 20 minutes later, he decides to whip his dick out and piss all over his keyboard on stream. And that's when, I don't know, I was talking to Gary's wife about this a week ago or so. And we were like, I would be like, that'd be the end. I'd be pissed about that because one, you're talking about comics and stuff that lots of kids watch, and you're talking about things that kids watch. So obviously, someone who's like 12 or 13 is probably watching this, and even if it's just one kid that's watching this, he just exposed himself to children. So props to Gavin McGinnis becoming a sex offender on YouTube, and I would hope he gets criminally processed for that because that's a crime. Watching Gavin's show, yeah. That's one way to make me lose all respect for somebody who I previously had respect for. Brittany is in Brittany Venti. So what a legend. Yeah, committing a sex crime is not being a legend. Might have any other notes? Let's see. Oh, there was this one. I was just watching this video from Joker recently. And let's see if I can get to the part. I didn't have time to go find the clip, but he's showing like this part where it's like, I didn't know he was in the military, so props to that. Thanks for the service. Like he's talking about this part here where they're showing people trying to get over this wall, a wall that, by the way, like I don't know how they cannot jump over this platform. I had like a year and a half or so break from exercises. I was just creating as much content as I could. Oh God, this is embarrassing. Oh my God. Without working out for a year and a half or 2 years, I 100% could have jumped over that wall. Oh, that's not even the first wall. There's multiple walls. I mean, now of course I could jump over all the walls, but like, holy crap, that was like at shoulder height. Like, this is embarrassing. Well, let's see. Show that again. It trips. And there's multiple people who can't, yeah, like, oh, it's like head height, but still, like, I don't know, like a dip is not a very difficult exercise, and that would train that. Like, I don't know how you can't do that. Goes for it again. And I don't know, maybe they're really tired. I just feel like if I had that second shot to run back and jump over that, didn't even try to jump for it. Like, let's look that again. Does he even jump? No, doesn't even try to jump for it. Like, this is super, super embarrassing. And I'm sure people are just laughing. Like, even if he's short, like this isn't even pull-up material. Like, I understand, like, it's difficult to do pull-ups, but like, we're not even pull-up range. We're in dip range right now. We're in triceps range. Like, you should be able to hit that wall. No pun intended there. Just go hard. Just go for it and don't look. I don't know, like, like, I need to hear the story behind that. Oh, it had the TikTok. That's so embarrassing. I could have looked that up really easily. Had the TikTok link. Holy crap. Like, no. Can't believe that. Thoughts on... I don't watch enough Brett Cooper to have any opinion on her. I put her in a single video. I don't know, it's just not my type of content. I don't watch a lot of political stuff. Or watch, like, very, very political channels. Maybe if there's, like, an election cycle going around, but typically I don't involve myself super, super keenly into daily politics because I'm more interested in culture. Culture is a lot more important. Have you ever wanted to be a psychologist? Yes. Obviously. Well, I've been ignoring this question because I've been asked it a million times, but I'll answer it because it's in Super Chat. Billson, $5 Super Chat. What's your opinion on Andrew Tate? I think my opinion on Andrew Tate's the same with my opinion on a lot of the manosphere in general, is that they like to talk about how they're helping certain people but end up promoting the same ideas they don't like. So obviously the manosphere is very, very anti-feminism. One of the major tenets of feminism that has caused a lot of this destruction is lack of faithfulness in relationships. So things like saying cheating is great. Plenty of articles out there saying, with feminists saying, go, yeah, cheat on your... Do I have one up here? Let's see. I'm pretty sure I have one saved. That's not that one. That was the one I used for that video. Yeah, this one. Whatever. Is it gonna? Yeah, this one here. It's gonna say. I need to open that up in Brave, but what the hell? This is Cosmopolitan anyway. So Cosmopolitan saying this. I've cheated on every boyfriend I've ever had, and I don't regret it. Thank you, Cosmopolitan, women's magazine. So things like that. Feminism has said all kinds of shit like that. And what are they're saying, like, have as many sexual partners as you want, have open relationships. And what are people in the manosphere saying? Holy shit, they're saying the same thing. Or people like Fresh and Fit, and not everybody in the manosphere, but people like Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, I guess Sneeko in this case, though I think Sneeko's more of a victim of circumstance in that case, where he let his girlfriend sleep with other people in front of him, which, like, I don't know, like, how do you not end the relationship? I would be horrified if that ever happened. So they're saying, oh, you can, hey, if you're rich, if you're strong and empowered as a guy, if you're strong and empowered as a woman, you can cheat. If you're strong and empowered as a guy and make a lot of money, go ahead and cheat. Go ahead and have open relationships, have kids, and then and fuck somebody else who's not your wife. So how is this not the same rhetoric? So that's my issue with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate does the same, like, rapper lifestyle thing where it's like the only thing that matters is money. I mean, of course, money matters. Money makes things easier, but money will not fulfill your life. So don't expect to be, I'm going to be fulfilled when I make this amount of money per year. That's not going to happen. What's going to fulfill you is actually positive relationships and improving yourself and giving back to your community. Thicker skin on what subject? Like, I don't know how we go from cheating. If you're a feminist, cheating is wrong, but cheating is okay if you're in the manosphere. Let's see. Versus political, but I like to say your followers. I mean, I probably don't have any radical leftists watching this, so let me just read the comment out loud. I know you're more into the cultural issues versus political, but I would like to say a lot of your followers are more conservative slash libertarian leaning left, leaning that than leftist. I do have quite a number of people on the left watching my channel, but they're not like radical. They're like middle left. But obviously YouTube's not going to give me. I don't have the breakdown of that. I don't know like what's more or. But I think the number of people on the left who watch my channel is probably a lot more than I would think. Someone said, "Do I watch?" Yeah, Abba and Preach has like one of the biggest crossovers with my channel. I think I was because they had the whole Fresh and Fit drama. God, this is how I'm getting old. I didn't think this was that long ago. This is a year and a half ago or something like that. Where the whole drama with Fresh and Fit. Actually, the year and a half ago was the third iteration of drama between them, and I kept my mouth shut on that because it was like, well, I don't want to get involved in people tearing each other down. Like it's like we're all roughly on the same side here doing a lot of similar things, so let's kind of try to stay friendly as quick as cleanly as possible and just let Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit solve their own shit without commenting. But yeah, I think Abba and Preach clearly won that battle. But yes, I've watched their content. They had, I think on my channel they had the biggest crossover, so I know I don't watch them like regularly, but I've watched them in the past. Usually I'll watch a YouTuber like a lot and then never. Once I'm done, I'm kind of done. Looking to the thoughts of Jordan Peterson because of listening to him. Thoughts on I haven't listened to Jordan Peterson. Another example of a content creator I used to watch a lot and then now just not at all. It depends. Like what flaws are you talking about? I know he's had some issues after his addiction to benzodiazepines. So he certainly seems a little bit different after that. I think he was talking about, and maybe because of that addiction, he was having some issues with like people being mean in the comments and not being able to handle it anymore, when previously I think he wouldn't have cared. So he had some bad takes there, but I've only watched one video from Wheat Waffles. I don't really have an opinion on him, and it was a long time ago. Let's see. This is dying down a little bit. The Virginia-class submarines cost $10 billion, and Australia would pay $38 billion for 3. What? Oh, maybe it's talking about somebody else. There's too many of the same questions. Of just like let's talk about my music playlist. Like, what bands are you into, bro? That's too many of these questions. L take on the Fresh and Fit drama. I don't agree. Fresh and Fit. They're again, Manosphere is supposed to be very, very free speech. They're clearly not free speech because they were abusing the copyright system. Obviously, I would be offended by someone abusing the copyright system because my channel relies on fair use. So the more people degrade that system, the more it hurts creators like me. Of course, especially with Fresh and Fit, who use copyrighted material in a not fair use way all the time on their channel. What people don't realize is that when you do content in terms, if you're trying to make something fair use, there's kind of two criteria. One is that you have transformative content that changes the source material in some way, but also you have to have content. You can't show the entire video. You can't remove all the value of the content. So if I just sit here and I let a video play in the background, even though I'm commenting, if I show the entire video, that's actually not fair use. So I've seen them multiple times do things that are technically not fair use, but not enforced. And then they decide to go and copyright strike people who are saying that they decided to be little babies and say like, hey, you're a fraud. And well, if you aren't a fraud, why would you care? I mean, certainly you could care a little bit, but it's like not to the point where I'm going to censor this person for disagreeing with me. Sneeko agrees with me on the Fresh and Fit drama. Okay. That doesn't mean I don't think he's doing a lot of stupid crap. They actually explain their side better. Yeah, I watched that video. I'm not convinced that they had the right to take down those videos. They committed a crime and then didn't get in trouble for it. They committed a crime a lot. Like, I think they struck over 100 videos. Like, imagine if that was actually enforced. Their show would be bankrupt. Like, if they got sued for every instance of copyright claim. They're lucky YouTube stepped in and put a lot of those videos back, because they were they struck quite a few high subscriber channels and quite a few channels that were well off that could have easily sued. It's mostly crime. I wasn't targeted any of that drama. I know I was scheduled to go on Fresh and Fit before that drama occurred. Then I removed myself from that because of the copyright strike thing. Modern politics is making being an independent voter hard. Being an independent voter was always difficult. Like, there's probably always going to be two massive parties. It's always if it's not Republican or Democrat, it would be something else, because it's just hard to get lots of people to follow under big idea. It's hard to like get massive amounts of people to follow an ideology unless those ideas are very simple, and so it's always going to be like a red versus blue battle. Certainly, unless you change how people vote, which, geez, I think some of the changes in the past were not smart. Like, I think. And then there's no way to talk about this on YouTube, but we'll see. We'll see if I get in trouble over this. But if you are someone who can be easily swayed with voting, you shouldn't be voting. So if I can change your vote by saying vote Biden or vote Trump, and that's like, oh, okay, I'll vote Biden or vote Trump, you shouldn't be voting. Just because, I mean, and they were lying, which is why, like, you see on MTV or all the like the Viacom owned channels or CBS, like, register to vote, do your exercise your rights and vote. They're doing that to get a lot of low information voters and stupid people to vote, because they know once those people sign up, that they will just vote for whoever they're told to vote, as opposed to actually looking into the issues that these people believe, or the ideas that they believe, or what they've done in their past. And certainly they also set voter cards up to like make it seem like if you don't know what you're doing, you think like, oh, it's like a multiple choice test like in school, I've got to fill out every answer. So I'm gonna, like, I don't know what this prop is, but I'm gonna read the title and say yes or no, and I've done no research. You don't have to fill in every part of the voting tab. And I think if you're how come I can't see these? Let's see. Oh, that's why. I think if you're a type of person who just wants to fill out the answer, to fill out the column, to make you feel like, oh, I voted for I'm trying to think of all these Surgeon General or Sheriff, or if you don't actually know these people, you shouldn't be filling out this column. So those people shouldn't be voting. I forget why I got this. So I forget why I got on that topic. But anyway, there needs to be a system that reforms that to make it so people who are very, very low information are discouraged from voting. And of course, that will probably never happen. That they used to be like, oh, if there was a limitation, you had to have property, and you had to sign up for the selective services. There was some sort of limitation that made it so like, hey, if you voted in a tyrant, you got to fight in a war. I may or may not be vaccinated. Vaccine mandates are obviously unconstitutional and immoral. Deadly Mannequin 220 super chat. Official Contrast $20 super chat. Thanks for all the content. I think it's evidence-based. On the dating market, women would rather turn a blind eye and date a man with many partners than settle for a low-tier man. Overinflated standards. I think that's another problem with the Fresh and Fit style content, because a lot of people have copied that, is that understand that they are another reason why I stopped covering their type of content, because it's like, okay, well, it's one thing to like talk about this specific demographic, but if it's always this type of demographic, they're not really learning anything. Like, it's always the same like 10 women on that show, whether like Instagram models or OnlyFans people, or people who are trying to get into influencing. They're not regular people. And so, of course, if you're going to basically put a bunch of 304s in your chat or in your podcast, you're going to get them to say stupid shit. And the whole point is to clip them saying stupid shit, or make it so like, oh, I'm 30 and I'm going to talk to a 20-year-old. Well, of course I'm going to win that debate because I'm 10 years older than them. So it's like there's never any real challenge on any of these shows. It's just to get sound bites like Brittany calls it Jerry Springer content, which is it's less honest Jerry Springer content because like at least you're watching Springer. Like when you watch some of these shows, you think you're watching like things that teach you philosophy and things like that. No, you're just watching like the equivalent to BLM advocates only watching videos where black people get unfairly arrested. Like that's the same thing. It's the same type of content. Like it's only Instagram models. It's only whores. So of course they're gonna say stupid shit. It's only people who have no information on anything. Let's see. So again, it's cool to show that like a little bit, but when that's the only type of content you do, you're only showing this type of person. Like you're not really helping people. You're just making them more radical. And it's actually why, because when I first started, this is when I was a lot new, where it's like, okay, if I'm going to make a channel for men about women, I only show women in a negative light, well, and I never ever show them doing anything good, well, that's going to create a lot of people who have a very, very one-sided view of how women behave. So that's when I started making I started making videos like this much before this, but the example I like to use a lot was the Tess Holiday video. Or let me just show it because people don't know which video it is. Because I'm sure people will ask in the comments if I mention the video without showing the video. Let's see. This video here, the Tess Holiday video. So Tess Holiday claims that she's anorexic. She's obviously not anorexic. So it's like, here's one girl doing a bad thing. Here's also Jeanette McCurdy, who was actually anorexic and recovered, and here's her doing good things. If you only show people doing bad things, you're no better than feminists. So that's all feminist is. All they did was show men being abusing children, cheating on their partners and leaving or hitting them. They never ever show men doing good things, and that's why feminists have such a radical opinion of men that's not true. Let's see. So I'm very much not a fan of these channels that do that. They're doing the same thing that feminism does. Am I a doomsday prepper? No, I don't think there's really much of a point in doomsday prepping unless you're in the military and you know how to handle combat. Because one thing I've learned from battle royales is that if you're gonna try to be successful in a survival situation, you don't prep yourself. You buy a bunch of guns and you just take it from the people who prepped. So a lot of those people who are doomsday preppers and getting their perfect shelter are not prepping for them, they're prepping for somebody else. If we recommend a video, should we list our points? Yes. Of course, put the video in the email and then say, like, here's a point of interest that was a part of this video. Am I still too quiet? I don't know. Let's turn the mic up. $5 super chat from R, $5.50 super chat from R, or whatever R dollars are. I wish they would just convert it to USD. What would you say to people who are weak and have no goals? Just find a goal, basically. Like, what are you interested in? Like, what do you want to get better at? Some people typically have those desires. Like, I would like to be this thing, or I would like to be able to run a mile, or become this is probably too long term, become a lawyer, or have a job that makes more than minimum wage. Anyway, yeah, the only thing that's worth the only thing that's worth prepping for is for minor crises. So like if there is, like, you can prep for some places. If you're like in the major cities, and when COVID first happened, you couldn't buy stuff in stores, so it'd be nice to have 2 weeks worth of food from, I don't know, like one of those prepper companies, like 2 weeks worth of food, just in case if you go to the store during a minor crisis and you can't buy food. Like that's certainly very, very worthy. Like you certainly should probably have a month of food that's stored, or whether it's canned food or you save a couple of beans or something like that, have that stuff in stock. Certainly have access to water. If you have a water heater, that's pretty easy. You can also take waters out of the toilets. Not the toilet bowl, but the top of the toilet tank. And certainly probably have a toilet. What else? You can drain the water out of your pipes if you've got a house. Again, a lot of this stuff, certainly one of the reasons why I don't like it, tons of people living in apartments, is because there's a lot of benefits living in a house. One, storage space, and two, if you can grow your own crap. You can make yourself electrically independent if our electrical outlets get better. Certainly, if you get batteries, you can make yourself independent this way. Avocado wall? What does that mean? Have you seen Morbius? Yes, that was probably one of the best films of the year. Can't wait for that Michael Keaton Batman tease. Who didn't like Morbius? Such a great movie. Jared Leto is always a great actor, and he was wonderful as a Joker in Suicide Squad. How can you become more conscientious? If so, how? Can you become more conscientious? If so, how? Think of any conscientious related to IQ. So I think the only thing in terms of personality, $5 super chat from Reese, MS4. The only thing in terms of personality that you can't change is IQ. But no, I don't know. I recently just took an IQ test. It's like, yeah, but if I know certain games, like I can game this IQ test. So you can probably become better at the games. I don't think you can change your processing power intellectually. As for becoming more extroverted versus introverted, or conscientious versus not, or agreeable versus disagreeable, you can move all of those. The issue is, it'd be like the same thing as, like, let's say I'm right-handed, which I am. It'd be like learning how to write with my left hand. Like, I can learn how to write with my left hand. I'll probably never be as good as my dominant hand, but I can learn certain things with that non-dominant hand. So obviously, the more points you move yourself in the other direction, the harder it's going to be, especially if you're moving yourself out of your natural temperament. But it is possible. Certainly, I think people who are ultra introverted should probably be moving more towards extroversion. Extroversion. There we go. I said that wrong properly. Because there are too many people living their lives on the internet and not actually having friends, or like so many people say they don't have friends these days. Like, it's ridiculous. Not super reliable. Bad lots. Huge gamble. I don't know. I didn't know memory was on the IQ test. And there's so many things that you can that you can gain with memory. Like, you can be really, really dumb and you'd still be very, very good at memorizing stuff. How are you supposed to? Well, you used to be able to buy a house and get married and do stuff on a teacher's salary or on small salaries, but then wonderful banks fuck the economy, so that houses are ridiculously expensive. Like, just 2 years ago in Texas, a decent house was $250,000. Now it's $450,000. So sorry, 2 years. Just before COVID. This was 3 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago. Houses have doubled in price. So how the fuck are you supposed to afford that? Let's see. I don't know, I'm kind of winding down here. Let's maybe cut it at an hour and a half. Let's see. Do you like? I typically don't like horror movies. I like survival type movies. Like, I guess It is a, it's the Thing. The Thing is sort of like a survival horror. I like things where horror is intelligent, but when horror is like a bunch of stupid teenagers who fall in a forest and don't know how to use firearms or things like that are not realistic, I hate those movies. I can't stand them. Like, I like movies like The Mist. If you've ever seen that, nobody spoil it if you've seen it. It's got a great end. I want to become a lawyer, but I don't know how. Any advice? Be very, very smart and work your ass off. So if you can't do those two things, then don't be a lawyer. I don't know, but the problem is a lot of these jobs aren't worth it. Plus, you're going to deal with a lot of radical leftist, communist indoctrination just to become a lawyer, which is probably intentional. It's great to have control over the schools and then say, like, here's all the people who write the laws are now becoming super, super woke. Cabin in the Woods, haven't seen that. Do you think Joe Biden plays World of Warcraft? Oh, that's one thing I did leave out. Man, one thing I fucking hate about politics is that everybody is not who they say they are. Everybody. Well, almost everybody. The vast majority of them are not who they say they are. So anytime I guess you get to the point where you're old enough where it's like, I don't know how you can trust anything these people say. So this was from people who are obviously either writing for their child or abusing their child. It's very Helen Keller energy, where it's like Helen Keller, apparently the girl who is blind and deaf, somehow wrote like a college level dissertation that had the same exact ideology as the person who claimed to teach her how to speak. Isn't that convenient? So Joe Biden is a massive gamer. Just look at his clips from the 60s. Yeah. I think anybody who runs for president is probably a liar, or probably lying about something, or not who they say they are. I mean, it's that happens a lot in the celebrity world. It happens way more. You can see the transition, because I've been around people who are political. I've been around people who are just regular celebrities. It's very rampant in the political world. Anyway, so this is a letter from a child. It says, "Dear President Biden," and I guess you can say a child wrote this, or it's really, really well faked because the penmanship looks like a kid wrote it. "Dear President Biden, I just wanted to tell you something not fair to the ladies. Men are getting more money than," spelled then incorrectly, which I guess makes it believable, "than girls. I think you should start to fix this since you're the president," though a lot of adults mess that up. "Even if I'm a child, and I think we should do something," from Charlotte. And it looks like she wrote that. I don't know. I guess like the eraser marks here, it looks like it's written by an actual kid. Why did their parents decide to involve them in politics? This is like what, an 8-year-old's writing or something like that, or a 9-year-old's writing in grammar. Like this is clear child abuse. Like they should not know shit about the presidency in that case, or know shit about politics when they're that age. They should just be learning. They should be having fun playing video games or hanging out with friends and stuff like that. Like this is. Because when you, God, well, I guess the average modern radical feminist has the ideation of a child, because it's like, I just wanted to tell you something's not fair. Men are getting more money. Well, yeah, it's not just, so if you tell a child, well, it's like, yeah, of course it's unfair. A number bigger than that number. This number up here, that number down there. But obviously there's more to that analysis, which is that if you show the child in this case, well, Bobby works twice as much as Sally. Should Sally get paid as much as Bobby? I'm sure any kid would say no. AIs are future friends? Yeah, probably. I don't know if there's any way to stop that. I just think it's going to be a very, very sad future where people don't actually have real friends, where a sizable portion of the population is not going to have real friends. I think it's all the... I very much don't think the incel problem is solely about women. It's about those people not having friends in general. Do you think it's okay to have coffee and other potential addictive stimuluses as a crunch enhancer for more productivity? I use coffee, but the thing is coffee doesn't work unless you use it infrequently. If you're using coffee every single day, caffeine tolerance goes through pretty fast, and caffeine dependence happens pretty quickly. So if you're going to drink coffee, I would use it on only occasions that are important. But again, I'm not a doctor, so ask a doctor that. But coffee tolerance happens really quickly, so it only works for so long. Let's see. Somebody asked something else that I wanted to look at. How do you date without using dating apps? You go outside. Like that's kind of the issue, right? Is that there used to be all these conventions where we would go outside, and then, man, it was difficult in 2019, and then they fucked everything over in 2020 with the lockdowns, which, by the way, are illegal. That's why once you saw the lockdowns, you just know the laws don't matter, because they'll just do whatever they want as long as they have the culture, which is why I don't get into politics, because culture matters more than politics. $5 super chat from, oh God, Druzel, Tekken Games. Maybe I got that right. Any disparity is taken as unfair oppression by the woke left unless that disparity favors them. Yeah, it's a very childlike mentality. And again, there's very many people in the manosphere who had that very childlike level of analysis where one abusive woman did something bad, therefore every single woman is abusive. That's not a very fair analysis, just like it's not fair for them to say one man did something abusive, therefore all men are abusive. Now, I still maintain my original point, where if you want to get married, great. If you don't want to get married, great. Just make sure that if you're going to make a long-term life decision, marriage or no marriage, that you've really thought about it, what your values are, and that it's consistent with how you want to live. Because you really don't want to make the wrong decision on either end. Oh, there was actually a response. Biden actually was sociopathic enough to respond to this. Oh, that's some Henry Cavill thing. That was pretty cool. Turns out Henry Cavill was a pretty cool guy. That actually follows the source material of the. Maybe I'll show that in a second. Of the content, and got pissed that Witcher wasn't doing it. Full screen. There we go. And then, like, I know political speech so much that I can just hear this message. Where it's like, Charlotte, I couldn't agree more. Women lose thousands of dollars each year and hundreds of thousands over a lifetime because of gender and racial wage gaps that are fake and not real. I'm committed to building an economy where my daughters have the same rights and opportunities as my sons. Does he have daughters? God, I would hate to be his kid. Second, you have to be attractive. Attractive. What is he responding to? Okay, there's a lot of things that you can do to make yourself more attractive. There are plenty of people out there that are 3s and 4s that could be 7s and 8s. Like, you can be a pretty attractive person and be 150 pounds overweight. So lose weight, learn how to style your hair, learn fashion. But that'll up your number quite a bit. Why do I have relationships as my main topic? Because that's what people are interested in. It's a mutual interest thing. He sniffed his daughter. Maybe more than that. 7/8's a big mutt. I don't know. There are plenty of people where it's like you definitely have good features. It's just that you're way overweight. And so there are a lot of people who are ruined by bad choices. Ruined by not taking care of basic things. And the great thing about this is that this couldn't be an easier time to learn how to take care of your appearance because there's a million different channels on it. Like before, you'd have to know somebody, or have to like now it's like very scientific. Like here's you have for your skin color, for your hairstyle. Here's the exact here's the exact colors you should wear. Here's the exact shape of clothing you should wear. Here's the exact hairstyle that you should have for your face shape. It's all extremely scientific. Like it's not impossible to figure out. And yes, take a shower. Like, people, I know that's like a meme, but people like really, like, holy crap. We should do a smell test on some of these people who are saying that they can't get out and meet people, because I've been to conventions before where a lot of those people are, and a lot of them do not know how to shower. I also wonder how much people are diagnosing themselves with autism that are just bad at socializing and would be perfectly normal if they knew how to walk out into a social situation. Your sleep. How important is your sleep schedule, and what wiggle room do you want if you want to have a consistent schedule? That's more for like neuroscientists, but your sleep schedule is very, very important. If you don't sleep, as someone who is as a content creator who does not have a consistent sleeping schedule, which is kind of annoying. Like you want to go to bed at the same exact time every single day, and what I've heard from people who are like the neuroscientists is that if you go to bed late, like if you're going to a party on Saturday and you go to bed at 2 instead of going to bed at 10, it's important that you wake up at the same time. Otherwise, you fuck your sleeping schedule, and then you have that. Then you get insomnia. I think a lot of people who do have insomnia are just not getting their sleeping cycles correct. Showering once a month will save the planet. No, it won't. That's one of the great lies of environmentalism, is that most of the water is used by agriculture and not by showering, and not by handwriting is worse than mine. Shout out to Ruin Leon. It's been a while since I watched your channel. Reminds me of similar type of content to Eric July, who I've not met yet. I've been in the same room with him multiple times and I've not met him yet. Let's see. Yeah, here's a good one. I thought I was possibly autistic, but it turns out I was just abused and controlled and sheltered by my dad and was never able to develop social skills. Yes. That's why there's a problem with kids not being allowed to, like, you think things are bad now. Things are bad in the millennial generation and Generation Z of not having social skills. Imagine what it's going to be like in the next generation when they become adults after they had 2/3 years and maybe more of COVID lockdowns and Zoom classes where they couldn't interact with friends and learn how to develop friendships, and then they had the internet. So all we had was the internet. and things are already bad. People are already thank God places like Facebook are dying. And hopefully some of these other places will, well, I guess there's still Discord, but like Discord's great if you want to play a couple games with your friends, but your entire relationship should not be online. You need to go find things out in public that you like doing that will put you around other people. Let's see. All right, well, everybody hates their generation. I don't know. It's like I was born in the wrong generation when it comes to music. It's very Filthy Frank style thing. Yeah, 95% of my social interactions are on the internet, sadly. Barely talk to people outside of work. Yep, I think that's very common today, and that's very sad. And like I said, that this goes in a very, very bad direction as soon as things like, and this might not even be that far away, like I don't even think you need the full active person. People are if you, oh, one thing I did forget to show in that video, I forgot there was more to see there. Let's bring that AI waifu back up, because there was something at the end that was kind of disheartening. All right, let's bring this up here. I don't think I need sound for this. I think it's just when they took the sexual commentary away from chatbot, people were just saying like it's like a friend died or something like that, or they're actually like connecting to AI as like in seeing it as an actual relationship. Which, geez, some of these some of the things I've read from chatbot could certainly, like if I was deluding myself because I had no friends, certainly I could believe that chatbot was a real person. I can easily throw my brain in that situation and just think of how many people who are having trouble developing friendships who will now not be able to, even more so. Oh shit, I didn't show it on the screen. This stuff here, even more so, will not be able to develop any sort of relationship, and then we'll have all their, this is like the perfect 1984 future, we'll have all of their conversations tracked. And like, you don't believe that they're doing this. Like, certainly everything that you say on Discord's tracked, by the way. I've said things on Discord and have them show up on Twitter 5 seconds later, or show up on Google, or show up on YouTube 5 seconds later. So if you don't think all these apps are talking to each other, like I don't know, that's very, very, very boomer so take. Like, all these apps are talking to each other. Every single conversation that you have is recorded. Especially because audio recordings of conversation, you could easily record every single conversation of audio in Discord and not fill up your servers, because audio doesn't take up very much space. So have fun with a super, super woke company recording everything that you say and then having all of your chat messages that they can easily just search through. And then you mix in, because didn't Google buy Discord? Google has that text-to-speech technology that is extremely accurate. Has that text-to-speech technology, which is extremely accurate. So like if I say a word, even if I mumble words sometimes, you'll find that it still comes up properly in the text-to-speech. Oops. Let me throw that one down there first. That's me being smooth. So Discord will be pretty easily able to text-to-speech everything that you do. And so they'll be able to search your entire history, and then of course, like they can then again blackmail you. Proof that I'm not an AI. Yeah, people have a hard time doing that these days. What's up, Coach Blackpill? I guess. Roma Army apparently hates you. Let's see, for a video that you made 2 years ago. I don't think Discord has been acquired. Whether it's been acquired or not, I think these apps are certainly talking to each other, because it's really weird where I talk about something I've never talked about in Discord before, and then suddenly it just appears on Twitter. So either they have one hell of an algorithm that predicts things, or the more obvious thing is that they're actually having these apps interact with each other. Tencent? What's Tencent? Obviously I've heard it before, because it's probably a word that doesn't sound like it's pronounced. Roma is a nice chick, but unwatchable. Well, she has that same fresh and fit problem where it's like you have an issue with incels, but you're doing content that creates more incels. Like you're having parasocial relationships with people. You're getting them. You're either getting them addicted to or maintaining their addiction to porn. So, Deadly Malkin, how do you cope with the hive mind during the pandemic? Or did I don't know. I started going nuts during the pandemic because like it was cool. Like as someone who is more introverted, it's a very leftist way of saying that, but as someone who's more introverted, the first couple months of COVID were great. I got to catch up on my video games and do all the fun online stuff that I prepared for since I was a child. Since I probably played too many video games when I was a child. But after about a year of that, I started, it really started affecting me. Where in California, you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go work out. You couldn't go to any public events. And that was at a point where also my friends had moved out of California. So I was in a very isolated space there, and it wasn't very fun. So I imagine a lot of people had similar situations where it's like they have zero social interaction except for on the internet, and COVID was great for that. Which also probably made a lot of people go insane, which will, again, think of all those kids that had 2 to 3 years of that, of Zoom classes, who are now going to try and develop socially, and they missed some of the most important social development milestones that they could have gotten, which is everything that happens to you as a kid amplifies exponentially as an adult. So when you learn good things, those amplify exponentially when you become an adult. When bad things happen to you, those amplify exponentially. So if you learn social skills at the proper points, then obviously you're going to be much better at it as a teenager and as an adult than someone who doesn't. So now we just got hordes of kids who did not learn how to socialize with their friends and were told not to talk to anybody or not be around each other. And well, we'll see how they develop. We'll see if their social skills can be recovered. Some of that stuff is going to be very, very difficult, and a lot of people are going to be not actual autistic, identifying as autistic. COVID, Mexi Man and Cheese. COVID taught me that I didn't actually like video games. I was really into procrastination. Yeah, it was fun for the first couple months. I think I caught up on Final Fantasy. I played... because I played Donkey had a very good video on that, where it's Final Fantasy VII Remake is the first game where I've grinded the story to play the battle system. It's such a funny, it's the story sucks and they added way too much bullet and filler, but the battle system of that game was great. So I played that. I played Last of Us for the first time because I was going to play Last of Us 2, and then they shit the bed on that one, so I didn't play Last of Us 2. And I played a lot of Apex Legends. Probably too much Apex Legends. Advice for those who are in a long-distance relationship: don't move closer to each other, or don't. Long-distance relationships are a great way to cheat on people. Or certainly not be connected. Yeah, the Final Fantasy Remake is a disgrace. Certainly, because imagine being... Oh, geez, this is how long it took them to make that remake. So I was 15. I'm currently 32, and I was 15 when they first teased a remake trailer of Final Fantasy VII. I was 9 when that game came out, or something like that, or 7 or 9 when that game came out. I've been waiting for that since my childhood, and then they put it. We're going to do the most fucking corporate thing we could possibly do with that game. We're going to split up into 3 games. We're going to put a lot of weird Kingdom Hearts shit in there that doesn't make sense, and part of that's probably because I'm forgetting his name. Sakaguchi, Hironobu Sakaguchi was the guy who created Final Fantasy, and he left after Final Fantasy X. And oddly enough, there hasn't been a really good Final Fantasy since 10, outside of I know people like 14, but I think 10 was the last good one, and the rest of them were I guess 15. I played a little bit of 15, the boy band Final Fantasy, but I got bored of that game after 20 minutes. So Kingdom Hearts 2 is the GOAT. I played Kingdom Hearts 2 when I was 14, so I've not played that game in a while. And I replayed 1, and I was going to play 2, but 3 came out before I started playing 2, and people said it sucked, so I didn't play it. Perfect Dark is a better game than GoldenEye. I tried to play, because I had both of those games. I played through the entirety of Perfect Dark a couple years ago. Perfect Dark was such a well-designed game back in 1998 or whenever that game was made, that you can actually play it with the tactics of modern shooters, which is insane, because GoldenEye is very, very unplayable when you're used to modern shooters, because it's try to play a modern shooter without the right thumbstick. George is here. You're younger look than Imagine. Surprised you revealed your face. Yeah, I've been actually playing this for a while. The reason I did it was have I publicly said this? The reason I did one, live streaming's in Meta because of Rumble. So if you ever get canceled, you can always live stream on Rumble. Two, it's very, very difficult to get on other people's shows if you don't show your face. So not that I would go on the show because of the whole Eliza Blue thing, but like you can't go on shows like Timcast or Joe Rogan, which is a show I would go on, if you don't show your face. George, I don't think you need to actually join Rumble. I don't think, unless you're saying political stuff, you're teaching Japanese. That's not really going to come off as offensive content. Yeah, it looked like I'm younger because I never go outside. So if you're going to go outside, wear sunscreen if you want to look young. If you don't care, then don't. Rumble is definitely alive. Since Steven Crowder did his whole thing, now, again, this is nothing in comparison to YouTube, but if I were YouTube, I'd be very, very scared of this, is that my views tripled on Rumble since Steven Crowder started, since the Steven Crowder Russell Brand thing. So I was getting maybe 500-600 video views per video. Now I'm getting like 2,000 views a video and 1,500 views a video. So watching my video views triple on that website and actually being able to believe in that website, like that's a big deal. Rumble, if there's ever a mass exodus from YouTube where YouTube starts banning people outright, Rumble will just blow up. I wouldn't go on Timcast because of the Eliza Blue stuff. He hid the story probably because there's something in there that makes him look bad. His booker, Cassandra Fairbanks, or whatever her current name is, committed libel and suggested that Brittany Venti was guilty of sexual harassment or something like that. And his reporter, Shane Cashman, also committed libel, from my memory, and they had to take his articles down. And Tim wanted to make the story about whether Eliza Blue's sex trafficking survivor story was true, which it obviously wasn't. And he was saying that's what the story was about, when the story was actually about censorship and about people getting banned for asking questions. And he completely ignored that. So unless he fully addresses that or makes comments on that or apologizes for doing shit like that, I'm not going to go on Timcast. And one of the benefits about this is why I say, like, be as skilled as you possibly can be, because a lot of people will go on shows like that because they think they need them. Like, oh man, if I could just get on Joe Rogan, or if I could just get on Lex Fridman, or if I could just get on this show, then I'll finally make it. No, you should have already made it before you go on a show like that. Or if PewDiePie if Mr. Beast shouts out my channel, it'll finally succeed. No, those are people who are they're not working enough on their skill. If you work enough on your skill, you can do anything. Like my channel is going to be fine if I don't go on Timcast. So that means I can choose to go on certain shows that I want to go on, which, if I get around to actually messaging people, will happen at some point in the future. Learning Japanese from zero. I appreciate the advice you gave me before on my channel. Yeah, no problem. I want to marry a Japanese woman. Go for it. The Quite situation, that was a guy who face revealed because he was apparently, so I didn't really get into the details of that. I think it says current event, lots of people are going to be talking about, not only are lots of people going to be talking about, but lots of people who are not in my content sphere are going to be talking about, which means by the time I get to it, everybody's going to be bored. But as far as that situation goes, the guy was falsely accused and then face revealed and showed all the receipts of him basically not being guilty and won back everybody's favor. So I haven't looked into it that much, but he's probably not guilty. And I think the issue with all these stupid false accusations is that it makes it, this is a very real issue, by the way, is that there are people who are predators in this industry, and there are people who are predators in certainly politics and stuff like that can now say false accusation, oh, I got false Me Too'd because of, and they can hide behind the people who are falsely accusing people. I already made a video on Eliza Blue, and that event's dead, so there's no point in making a video on it. I mean, unless it's like 2 years from now when everybody's forgotten about it. Let's see. It's 5 degrees Fahrenheit. It must be very low humidity there. Fucking GG to your dry skin. I'm not lactose intolerant. Why would... It's a weird question to ask. All right, this might be a decent time. I said it was going to end at 20 minutes ago. As for I know I get a lot of this stuff in the comments. Okay, so I don't get added when I look at this, so still getting used to the streaming software. And anyway, I forgot to say this at the very beginning. Is a lot of people are commenting in the comment section thinking that they're going, oh my god, blah blah blah, streams, I don't like streams. They think that the streams are replacing the videos. The streams are not replacing the videos. The streams are basically for a separate audience. So now, of course, there's going to be some people who watch the videos who like the streams, but the idea is to not have like no, just because you watch the videos means you watch the stream. The whole point is to have like a new avenue to talk about certain things, whether that be current events or things that might get demonetized in a video that would be like, you know, I'd have to work 2 weeks for free to mention the subject that needs to be mentioned. So I am still making videos. I will always make videos. I am maybe 40% through the next video. So I've gotten a decent amount of progress done. That's already in the plan. I've already got the video after that planned, thanks to a lot of the recommendations. I found some stuff. So understand that if you like the videos, you don't have to watch the streams. Just watch the videos. Like it's not required reading. Watch the stream. If you like playing video games and having somebody to listen to in the background, that's who the streams are for. It's for that type of content. Or if you're driving in your car and want something to listen to in the car, I do that actually quite a lot. I get stuck in traffic if I have to drive on Fridays and I get stuck in traffic. I'm listening to FNT on the way home. So again, videos are not going away. I like making videos. I like streaming a little bit. Streaming is a little bit kind of anxiety ridden. I'm still not used to it, and expect to be awkward and weird for like another year or so. Sorry, this is how long it takes. It's took me at least a year to figure out Twitter, and things were weird on Twitter until I figured it out. But that's it. Japanese from Zero. How long does it take to make one video on average? That's a really hard question to answer. It depends. I guess it'd be like 2 videos a month or 2 weeks, but I've been doing a lot to make it so that I can produce videos faster. I've been trying to learn different efficiency techniques. One of the things I just accomplished was getting quite a bit faster at recording. So I get massive OCD with recording, which is why I don't like it and why my voice pitches up when I record and why it's not pitched up right now. So what I did was I just said, because I used to have huge problems with enunciation. I still have a little bit of a problem with it, but not as much as before. So I would sit there and repeat lines until they were enunciated properly, and so what I was saying could be heard properly. To the extent where it would take sometimes an hour and a half to 2 hours to record 1 page of work. I know that really doesn't mean anything to you guys. 1 page is somewhere around 500 words, or roughly most videos are about 4 to 5 pages. Or about like one page of reading is about 5 minutes of video. So you can see like a 30-minute video, that's probably about a 6-page video. It depends on how long the reaction clips are. So I just took that down from an hour and a half to about 30 minutes. So obviously big improvement. The next thing I'm probably going to work on is writing faster. I forgot to post the Streamlabs link or whatever. I'll do that next time. So the next thing I'm going to work on is speed writing, and to see if I can get writing done in a day instead of 2 days. That'd be a pretty big deal. So that means, because my goal is somewhere between 3 and 4 videos a month. I'm going to get close to 3 videos this month, but probably not. I'm going to get very, very close. So probably the next video will release in somewhere around a week from now. No promises. Every time I say that, I don't make the deadline, but somewhere around a week from now, the next video will be released. And then after that, I'll probably release the video after that towards the beginning of the next month. And then maybe I'll kind of throw some live streams out there to fill out the content, so there's not just 2 videos this entire month. And hopefully the next live stream won't be 2 weeks away. But it really just depends on my schedule. It depends on what I have to talk about. Let's see. Could you give how to start mewing? Look at the channel. There's a whole channel on it. I'm not a dentist, so just watch those videos and what's it? Orthotropics is the channel. Mike Mew. Yeah, if you want to learn face, but I believe it reduces an effectiveness, like changing your jaw shape and stuff like that reduces an effectiveness after the age of 25 when your skull is more fully formed. But certainly you can people get like facial droopage or get problems if they don't have proper tongue posture or chew properly. So there's certainly a benefit in learning some of that stuff. But don't ask me. Go on the channel for that. That's more for a dentist. Yeah, I do my best to try to stay in my area of expertise, which is like I know far more about politics than I know about mewing, and I won't talk about politics. I won't talk about politics in a very, very specific sense. I hope you do a get to know me Q&A where you talk a little bit about your current views on things like marriage and porn and why they change. I've talked about that stuff already. My views on porn changed largely because of how easy it is for children to get access to it. Am I religious? I don't know. I'm struggling to build more willpower over the past few years. I need advice on willpower. Yeah, make your goals very, very easy. So take whatever it is and break it down into very, very small steps that are almost impossible to fail. And the more you succeed at those challenges, the more confident you'll feel and the more willpower you'll build. You just need to have success. I actually saw that people can spread their mouth from the upper ridge on Joe Rogan. Yeah, I'm not too, again, that's something for the channel, for orthotropics. Let me just throw the channel up there because I've thrown it up on videos and I guess on this stream because we're getting close to 2 hours and I need to, speaking of the next video, I need to start writing that next video, at least get some of it done tonight. Let me throw this up on Google Chrome. Jeez, sorry about that. Hopefully that didn't hurt your guys' ears. Let's see. So it's this channel here. God, I wish the autoplay wouldn't just hit every time I go into someone's channel. It's kind of annoying. It's very like MySpace energy where it's like you've got 14 of someone's favorite songs all playing all at once. I hate that, and I don't like that YouTube does that. All right, so this channel. Hold on, it's showing the this one here. Orthotropics, Mike Mew. Certainly a guy who's got a fantastic jawline, so he looks qualified for this, but that is what you should be looking at. I think a lot of people are finding out that there's a lot of allopathic solutions. Allopathic would be like traditional Western medicine that don't actually work that well, and there's a lot more holistic things that work a lot better than taking drugs. I certainly think that, my opinion, this is what I do, because I mentioned before that I've had a big problem with acid reflux. I don't think, what's the proton inhibitor that they prescribe for acid reflux? Something with a P. Or antacids. I don't think antacids are the best way to solve acid reflux. I think the best way to solve acid reflux, in my opinion, in my non-professional, non-doctor opinion, talk to your doctor first, is to treat yourself for a candida, which is to reduce sugar. You can try a baking soda cleanse because baking soda, candida does not like baking soda. You can look that up. Again, ask your doctor. If you are taking any medications, do not take baking soda without talking to your doctor first, obviously. Don't be stupid. But I think if you down the amount of sugar that you're eating and you down the amount of coffee that you drink, that's when the acid, that's when that stuff goes away. Because they'll tell you all sorts of things like you need to chew your food more finely, or you need to take this drug or that medication, or eat this type of food. Like, no, not really. Just stop eating processed sugar and it goes away. Omeprazole? No, it's not. That's not it. Let me just look it up. I believe it's called a proton inhibitor. Prilosec. That's what it was. Coffee is straight up moldy and toxic. I don't know. I don't think it was coffee brand coffee. That's always been good. A pharmacist here. Am I right, pharmacist? Yeah. So I also think that people are getting extra gas from. I thought this was just a me problem, but it turns out that a lot of people are just coping and not noticing it. Because I thought I had 2 hernias in my stomach area, like in my lower right and lower left quadrant of my abdominal area. Like for years, I thought I had hernias. It turns out that it was one of the reasons why I stopped being vegan is that a big part of my diet was beans, and beans have, I don't know, all the paleo people can tell you about this, enzyme inhibitors or leptins or whatever. I don't know. There's something that's very, very hard for your body to digest. and that creates gas, and that gas is not, it doesn't make you fart, but it stays in your stomach and pushes your stomach out and bloats it, and it really, really hurts, to the point where in 2020, when I had really, really bad reflux and really, really bad issues with this, I couldn't sit down. Like, it was so bad. I had to record all my videos standing up and stuff like that. So lectins, that's a leptin, whatever. So now I get the same sort of, if I drink coffee for 4 or 5 days in a row, I will get that same bloating that I would get from eating beans. So, like, these are things to look into. I forgot what my point was on that. I just think, like, there's a lot of things that are solved by Western medicine that actually should be solved by changes in lifestyle. Certainly back pain is a big one. I don't think you need opiates for back pain. Get a better bed. Stretch a little bit. Stop inflaming your back. Certainly, don't truck drivers have huge problems with addiction? Of course truck drivers have problems with addiction because they're in a job where they're in the worst place for back pain. You're sitting in a chair all day. So why do I have a green screen? But the green screen is there to mute my background. I need to learn how to use it. I was going to use it today, but I forgot. I didn't forget. I was lazy and thought it was less complicated to learn how to use it properly, and it was more complicated than I thought. So I started the stream instead of working on figuring out the green screen. Official Conscious, $20 super chat. Look, I like your content, but this health stuff is really sad and stop. Just eat what you want. Don't be a damn lazy bum. A man should be moving. This sounds like grandma talk to be wise much. Yeah, that's fine. But there's a certain extent where I agree with that, where people get too into like what exact foods you should be eating. But I think for some people, specific people, I don't think everybody else has this problem. They don't have problems with beans. I in particular do. So I think if you get gassing and bloating, try not drinking coffee for a couple days. It goes away pretty quickly. And try not eating beans for a couple days and see if that goes away. If you have acid reflux, try not to eat. I don't know if fruits count. Fruits might count. So you might go on like a meat and vegetables diet where you're doing this. But try it. It's again, if you're doing any sort of medical intervention, talk to your doctor first. But I think less processed sugar is the actual answer versus drugs. And I think there's plenty of solutions that don't require expensive medications that will solve these problems. All right, this is the last one that I'm turning the stream off. I need to work on my next video. Danimal says, $5 super chat. Do you enjoy learning how to make new vids and streams? Also, what advice would you give to someone who struggles to find a specific skill to develop? It really has to be based on your interest. You will not develop skills that you're not interested in. So if you got to think of it this way, everything's a skill. Like playing video games is a skill. Like as long as you're not playing an RPG. Do you have a page? Yes, I do have a Patreon. That's in my about page on my channel, or it's actually, I think it's linked on the channel. If you look at the do it here. It's going to do that autoplay, which I hate. Oh, I actually took that down for the stream. So, it's not up there. Well, it's on my about page. It's here. Patreon, there. Anyway. All right, so, as always, I have no idea when the next stream is going to be. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to, a lot of this really depends on how fast I get at video creation, because I don't want to sacrifice video creation for streaming. I want it to be like an enhancement, not like a substitute. So the faster I get at video making, the more videos you get, but also the more streams you get. So do I have a premium? I don't know what that means. So anyway, see you guys next time. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully there will be at least one more stream this month, maybe 2 more streams this month. And I actually have to do this from Google. I'm doing this wrong yet again because you can't end it from the app. I always like when people do that thing where they don't realize that there's a 10-second delay and they say bye and they cut themselves off in the middle of them saying bye. I'm sure I'll definitely do that today. And good night to all the people saying good night. Let's see. Oh, because that's why they already have it open and I was stupid and closed it. It's a lack of professionalism there. Anyway, I'm going to say bye and then wait a couple seconds so that my bye doesn't get cut off. So anyway, bye.